All right, guys, we're back with this crazy independent square spawn point. And before we start, there is something I have to fix, and it's this little hound. I was planning my moves and realized I had played him incorrectly, right? He popped out of independent square and he moved. The problem is his movement text. I wasn't paying quite enough attention because it says that when he moves moves directly to the nearest investigator inside a location in Arkham. So the Hound, for whatever reason, doesn't roam the streets. It roams the buildings in Arkham. I'm not too sure why or how this happens. Somehow Hounds of Tindalos are able to open doors and pick locks, so we're just going to go with that. So he is actually not going to come down here and harass poor Carolyn. Instead, he's going to shoot out of Independence Square and head for the nearest investigator in a location, which is unfortunately Jenny. And the reason I say unfortunately is because of physical immunity. So the only thing that can hit this guy is going to be a magical item. And who's holding our Sword of Glory? That's right, Miss Fern up there. So, I would much rather have the Hound be up there where she can take care of it, because Jenny, well, she has a little enchanted knife, but I don't think it's enough to take this guy out. He has a toughness of 2. And if we don't, he's going to actually hound us for the rest of this game. He's going to continue to pop from location to location. The only way to hide from him is to stand in the streets. And as everyone knows, that is a really unwise decision. So if we want to take out the Hound, it's got to be Carolyn, right? And Jenny, of course, she's the one with our 5 clues. So we don't want her dealing with the Hound. We want her up there. So if you'll let me, guys, I'm just going to switch the characters and move them. No, I'm totally kidding. But that would be great if I could. So let me plan this out here. I think we might send Carolyn here and send Jenny there. It's going to take a ton of moving and time, but the other option, of course, is just to hope we don't pull another square, and so we'll get a break from the Hound. But hoping in Arkham, it's not the best game plan. So we've come full circle. Jenny's going to be first player again. So let's refresh her goodies and give her allowance. She's piling up on the money again. All right. She only has a focus of 1. So we know we have to get her away from that Hound, because he has got physical immunity, right? So the only weapon she has that could hit him is a +3. Oh man, his sanity check is going to be at a -2, and we need 2 toughness with a -1 on fight. So as she stands now, 3 + 2, that's 5, -1, so that'd be 4, rolling 4 dice, looking for 2 successes. I mean, maybe, okay? Maybe she could do this. And again, with a -2 on her willpower, she's only at a 4, so she's rolling 2 dice, and that's a hit of 4 sanity if we miss it. So I really think I want to leave this for Carolyn. I really do. So let's see about evading him. He has a -1 to evade. Okay. She does have her handy little spell, the Mists of Relay, and she can cast it to pass an evade check. Okay. The casting cost is the monster's sneak, so that would be a -1 to cast this. No sanity cost. So I think that might be worth it. Her lore, however, is only a 2. So if we're going to try that, oh, we have a +1. Just kidding. So her lore is at a 3, so she'd be rolling 2 die. Her movement she needs, we're still icy, 1, 2, 3, 4. She needs 5 to get up there to that Migo. And we got that, no problem. 3 + 2. So we're not worried about movement. So her speed and her sneak I'm not too worried about. I think I'll leave her sneak where it is. Just in case we fail here, we can still do, or I think we can still do our regular old evade check. And then lure, let's move her lure up 1. Let's use that for her focus, just to make sure this spell goes off. So plan for Jenny is summon the mists, tiptoe past the Hound, and get up to that Migo, and we'll have a battle up there. And the Migo is kind of a nut. There's not much to him. And of course, if we pass it, we're going to get a unique item. So he's a 1 toughness. He has a tiny bit of a check for willpower. So I think she'll be okay. Okay, so that's Jenny. So if Jenny is going to come up, we want Carolyn to head down. And this is where it gets tricky, because she's also going to need a move of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got to get her a speed of 5. She can't get there. Okay, darn it. The fastest she can get is 3. She can exhaust her map for 4, but those icy conditions are going to get us, so she cannot get to the Hound. All right, well, what does that mean? All right, so if she's not going to use her movement to get to the Hound, let's get her in a location. So if the Hound moves, it'll move to her. Let's finally use our little tome here and use our movement points for that. So we only need to spend 2 movement points, and I'm assuming icy conditions don't affect the casting of spells, so I'm not going to add a 3rd one for ice. So we're going to need 2 for that. Where could we get her? Could we get her to a clue? The nearest clue is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so then she would need a move of 3. Plus 2 is 5. She's just always a little bit short. Killing me here, Carolyn. So what do we do now? So once again, I think we're stumped on that stupid book, because I really want her out of the streets and in a location. So we'll just send her to pick up a clue. Someday it's going to happen, someday. Okay. Clue close to the Hound. Got it. She's going to need all of that movement because of that ice. And good old Amanda. I think of her as our Buffy now, because she's this little blonde student who's come out of nowhere. She needs to go pick up a few more clues too. So we'll just send her also for some clue pickup. She doesn't need much speed. Fight versus will. Wow, her fight seems like pretty low. But I guess she does have 1 magical weapon. Luck and lore. I like keeping her lucky. I feel like that's her thing. So let's leave her right there. All right, let's see how this works. Okay, so this whole turn hinges on Jenny here. We need her to get away from the Hound. And to do that, we're going to try and evade him. And the first way we're going to try is calling on these mists. Okay. To do that, let's get some of these out of here. I like to keep the happy ones, so we'll leave those guys in here. She has a lore of 4, -1, so that's going to give us 3. And we are looking for any success. Come on, Jenny. Oh, none. Okay, so we cast it, and it failed. It's not a good start. I think, though, we can definitely still try and evade the regular way, right? Would that make sense? Because this was just a spell. I'm not sure. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I think I can still do just the regular evade check, and that would be her sneak -1. So now we're down to 2, and the problem with this, of course, is if we miss the sneak, we're fighting that Hound one way or the other. Ouch. All right. Let's see what happens. Oh, yes. Okay. So we called for the mists. Nothing happened. I guess the ice interfered with that. But we're just going to use her natural sneakiness to get away from the Hound. Good job. Our movement, we're going to do our ruins for 3. We're going to hop on our good old motorbike. That gives us our 5. So let's move her. And hop on our motorbike. Careful in the ice. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 more for ice, which leaves her face of the Migo. Migo, okay, there's nothing special about him. -1 to our sanity, and then no modifier for fight. Okay, we can do this, we can do this. So we left her sanity at, her will is 4, so let's give her 3. We need 1 here, Jenny. Yes, nicely done. We are not scared of a giant flying, looks like a mosquito. And next we need a combat check, toughness of 1. Our fight is 2. We've got 2 one-handed weapons, so 2 plus 3 plus 3. We're looking for 1 success. Yes, no problems there. All right, her first monster trophy. Nicely done. And, wait, yes, draw 1 unique item. Do you go back in the cup? Yep, oh no, you return it to the box. Okay, so he's gone from the game. That's not a monster trophy. But we get a little reward. And it's going to be a gate box. What is this? Ooh, when you return to Arkham from another world, you can return to any location with an open gate. Well, in some games, this would be wonderful. In our game, with only 1 stinking gate, not so much. What's nice, though, is this isn't a one-use item, so you don't have to use it and discard it. All right, well, maybe that'll be helpful later. Good job, Jen. Ah, and you know what? Hey, the ladies are having a little power luncheon downtown, which means we could trade items. So I know I feel like Jenny has just a ton of movement, and Carolyn's always sort of struggling. So we could do one of 2 things. We can either pass that tome off to Jenny and let her cast it, right? The problem is she doesn't have the best lore and she can't heal sanity loss. So I kind of want Carolyn to keep it. But maybe Jenny's going to let her friend borrow her motorbike. So it's exhausted, so she won't be able to use it this term. But let's swap it. Let's have the ladies do an exchange. And Carolyn's going to give Jenny her map of Arkham. All right, that's the one that only gave her 1 movement point, and it just was never quite enough. And in return, Jenny's going to lend her the keys to her motorcycle. Okay, so it's exhausted. I think we can still pass it even if it's exhausted, right? Ping me if I'm wrong on that. The ladies are just going to do a little bit of a flip-flop here. Yeah, I think that'll work. And then hopefully that will give Carolyn enough movement to start getting some extra spells. Okay. Ooh, do I leave her enough movement to get where she needs to go, though? Wait a minute here. Okay, the speed is set at 3 plus icy conditions. That's okay. We're good. She can get down here to the unnameable. So she is going to head 1, 2, icy conditions, 3, and pick up her clue. And finally, Amanda, good job, girl. She's just going to shoot over to the woods and pick up her clue and see what happens. 1, 2, 3. Icy conditions means 4. Let's do some Arkham encounters. Jenny's still standing in downtown. She's picking up the bill from lunch. She has no encounter. Carolyn is in the unnameable. Ooh, let's see what she gets. Interesting. The unnameable and Independence Square have had a unusually high showing in this game. Whoops. All right, let's see what happens. Hopefully something good. Unnameable. Okay. In a dusty and decaying roll-top desk, you find a mysterious manuscript. If you read it, make a lore -1 check. If you pass, draw 1 spell. If you fail, the manuscript is nothing but the insane babbling of a previous renter. Stay here next turn reading it, but gain 2 clue tokens. Wow. Yes. Okay, yes. Oh, this couldn't have happened to a better person. This is who we want our spells to go to. All right, a lore -1. She has a nice high lore right now of 4. Nothing to help her. So we'll take those 3 happy with dice up in the corner there. See if we can't keep them that way. Yes, Okay, I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know if I would rather have had the 2 clues. I think I might have rather had the 2 clues. All right, but we passed, so we're going to draw a spell. And we end up with, oh, this is the weirdest game. We end up with another evade spell. This is bizarro. All right, I guess the gods of Arkham are trying to force my hand. Okay, we'll take it. We'll take it. And finally, sweet little Amanda sitting up in the woods. She could either get money, a common item, or just some general horribleness. Any bets? You are bushwhacked by the Sheldon gang. General horribleness. Pass a luck -1 check to avoid their trap. If you fail, lose 2 items of your choice and 2 stamina. All right, we need some luck modifiers. I feel like we're just luck -1. Well, we left her luck at 3. So let's take the 2 happy ones and see what happens. Oh, she's not lucky. Okay. If you fail, lose 2 items of your choice. I don't want to lose anything. So instead of that, instead of losing something, let's play our research materials. Discard it instead of spending a clue. So let's spend this to get another die. That was worth it. Totally worth it. All right, so she does a little research in the woods. Don't ask questions, people. And she figures out how to, she figures out that the Sheldon boys have an outstanding warrant. And she threatens them with calling the cops, and so they back off, and she survives the woods. And since we still have no one in the other world, we're right back to our mythos phase. What are the odds this is Independence Square? No, it's the woods. Uh-oh. Amanda, sorry, honey. Let's put that one down. Doom token on. So Amanda has just fended off Sheldon brothers and, the Dreamlands again. I'm telling you, this game is really bizarre. All right, because she was standing on it when it opened on her, she's going to get sucked through, but she's not prepared. So she will be delayed. So let's stick her in the Dreamlands delayed. And of course, we're going to need a monster there. What's it going to be? How about another cultist? This is such a bizarre game. I feel like this is just like a giant game of deja vu. All right, but he will be moving, so let's see, moons and pluses. Do I have anything else? I know the Hound's a square. What are you? Yep, you're a plus. Okay, so the star spawn and the cultist are gonna move. Let's make that happen. No big deal for the cultist. He just heads into Uptown, but there's nobody there. Bad news for Miss Jenny, though, because, which one? Yes, plus sign, darn it. All right, our star spawn is gonna head into downtown, and he is impossible. Not hard to sneak by, okay, and that's good, because, my gosh, we're like, this game is begging us to evade. Otherwise, he's -3 to will, -3 to fight, toughness of 3. Yeah, we're evading that. Okay, clue appears at the Historical Society, of course, the place we've already been. And finally, oh good, we're done with that stupid ice. The festival has begun. Cultists and Bikey have their toughness increased by 1. Great. Well, not much we can do about that. All right, ice, you're out. Tough cultists, you're in. And here we stand. Oh dear. All right, so we have Amanda knocked out in the other worlds, so she's just going to be standing up. We have Carolyn, who doesn't have enough clues to close anything, but I think she's going to turn into our fighter is what is kind of the vibe I'm getting from her. With the motorcycle, hopefully she'll be able to maybe peel out some of these monsters. The monsters we have are just crazy tough right now. We definitely need Jenny to evade and get through that portal because she has enough clues to close and seal. And remember, one win condition for this game is if there are no open portals and we have gate trophies equal to the number of players. Amanda already has one, so if Amanda and Jenny can close their portals without any more portals opening, we would win. Okay, but honestly, I don't think I've ever won Arkham that way. But we'll see. We'll see. This is a bizarre game. It could happen. But right now I'm feeling most of the pressure from these really big numbered monsters. So let's see what we can do about that next turn.